Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, overnight shift, whatever time you're watching this video. Just realized that didn't work, but hey, it's working now. Hey, Memorial, we'll say it that way. That work anytime. We wanted to give you a quick video about the Subiaco trip, just kind of bring you up to speed, let you know how that went. I've been calling it the "How did it go at Subiaco" video, and that's kind of fun to say, you know.
It is.
And so I'm Daryl, and Stephanie has graciously joined me on this one. We're going to share a few things with you and just kind of let you know how it went. Subiaco, we go every year. We try to, and it's in Arkansas, 3.5 or so hours away, and it is a different atmosphere, one that allows you to kind of get away, and it's quiet there. Quiet. And it's a good place to hear things from our Lord. And that's what we really were stressing this time. I think we kind of called it the, okay, so what are you hearing from God topic? That was our big hit on the Subiaco this year. And so we just wanted to give you kind of the rough outline and share some things about our experience there this time and just let you know how it went. So we started off with literally, there were a few of us that were missing. Shane, Ron, and Kim. They weren't with us, so we were -3. But we started out literally just kind of going over what we were thankful for, and it was kind of a hodge. We did a lot of popcorn stuff, throw it out there. What are you hearing? What are you thinking? What do you got to say? And man, we went around the room for a while talking about what we were thankful for, and we spent some time praying in a different sort of way. We were kind of disruptive with it, I guess. We would be talking about something and we would, pray spontaneously. And so that happened a lot over the weekend. And that was very good. And then after that, we went right into kind of sharing. First, it was the staff. We had Stephanie and you shared wonderfully, but we kind of were like a small group there.
Yeah, for sure.
And the staff went first, and really we kind of asked them, so, hey, how's it been this last couple of years for you working in ministry, working at Memorial? How's it been? And I'll tell you that the staff opened up and we listened and we shared. We really drew together. There was a deep connection there, and we want to share that with the family. We want to provide opportunities for you to do that with each other and with us. It was powerful. And then the elders did it too. We shared right back. It was good. We needed that time. We really did. We also then we had a point where we got to a break. We had maybe 2 hours of alone time or open space. Wasn't it 2 hours? Lunch plus 2 hours?
It was. That's true. So maybe more like 3.
Maybe it was 3, yeah. And literally it was time for you to go spend some time alone, maybe recharge. I think Trent went on a bike ride. Steve went on a jog. I sat in my room and just listened to not noise. And it was, what are you hearing from God? And we had kind of the design of coming back together. And then we were going to talk about, things, you name it, what would we be throwing out there that we're hearing from God, that we're seeing from him move in a direction, and what do we want to do with it? And it was, Stephanie, if you would you share a little bit about that time for you and then how that looked when you came back?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the charge that you gave us of hearing from God. And you don't honestly ever really expect to actually hear something literally. But I chose to walk around Subiaco and the grounds there. And as Daryl was saying, it's a different place. It's just the whole atmosphere of it is peaceful and quiet. And, so it was soothing to be out in the nature and out in that space. And I started walking down this trail, and honestly, I heard this really loud sound coming. And I was like, oh my goodness, that has to be water somewhere. Has to be water. I'm going to go find where this water's coming from. And as I'm walking, I'm like, there's no water, nowhere. And so I finally just was like, okay, I'm hearing something. What do I need to do? And how am I going to find what I'm actually hearing? And I realized it was the trees that I was walking past. It was the trees that were making the sound. And I kept walking, and I was like, I passed through them and the sound disappeared. It was gone. And something drew me back. The Spirit drew me back to that sound and said, sit down here and listen. And so I sat down and I listened, and the sound was as loud as could be. And words just started coming to me. I had to write them down. So if I can, I would love to share that with you guys, the words that came. As I walk closer, I hear it, that memorable, peaceful sound. There must be water nearby. You know, that sound of water trickling down smooth rocks and obstacles? Surely that is what I hear. But I'm here and no water is seen. Sure, there's some melting snow, but no creek, no waterfall, no trickle, but yet the sound remains. I look up. I'm surrounded by a small grove of trees, out of place amongst this farmland horizon. It's late winter. Why do these trees still have leaves on them? That is the sound I hear. The leaves aren't beautiful. There's nothing left in them. They are brown, rounded, and harsh. They give no sign of life. Yet they hold on, have held on, plan to hold on. That sound I hear is them against the wind calling out. What are they saying? Some leaves have fallen. Some could not hold on. But I shift my eyes and ears back to those tree limbs. How long have the trees been here? What is their story? It must be a heavenly story, because these leaves simply don't want to leave. They are brown, rounded, harsh, and yet they make a sound worth stopping for. They make a sound that make you search for answers. They make a sound of longing unity. Won't you listen? So I will say, I don't write like that very often. And I knew that that was straight from the Spirit. Daryl talked about our time of opening up and listening, us opening up to the elders and the elders opening up to us. And these are some of the things we heard, that brokenness, the lifelessness of it all sometimes, the harsh reality of what we've been through as a congregation and as leadership. But this made me see that we are all going through that, our whole family. And so this was definitely that Spirit moment of listening and writing it down too, and just knowing that we're all in it and we're all in it together.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. That's the second time I've heard that poem, and I love it. And I know that many will be blessed by hearing that. And so that's literally, gang, that's how we kicked off the portion of, okay, so what are you hearing? And so then it just kind of blew us away there. So we started, and there were different things thrown in, and here's how we worked it. I think young families was tossed out really early. And so young families, there it is. It's on the table in front of us, and we're thinking about it. I'm like, okay, we've heard the topic, and now we're going to pray. And it's not like okay, so will somebody pray? And then there's a 28-second pause for someone to volunteer to go, I guess I will, but I did a minute ago, so I don't feel. It wasn't, we really worked hard at being, okay, I'm praying. And then you start. And then, so the topic, the prayer, and then we discussed for a short time. We did not get into the weeds of, okay, so what things are we going to do for young families or about young families or whatever? So, and we're keeping up with those. And now what does our year look like as we continue to pray and think about young families? Obviously facility was on there, stuff about our facility, you know, direction to go, services. What do those look like, you know, during our worship time? What about, you know, other activities that we have going on all the time? Kids, mature, older folks, you know, what are we doing here? Always just right there in front of us. And we would say the topic, pray, and then discuss. And then I would hit the axe on the table and say, we're done talking about that. And we got to keep moving. But yeah, it was very, very good. Very good for us to do. And then after that, I think what we did, we had a time of talking about you, our family, individual members. It was a really good time. It was like Larry, wasn't it Larry that it was?
Yeah.
He was the one that said, hey, who's taking fiery arrows right now? And some of you were mentioned and prayed about right then. And then we talk and share. And then some, it wasn't fiery arrows, but it was, man, I'm thankful for this family or this person or these folks. And we mentioned you by name and prayed about you. I mean, and I had to, you know, begrudgingly cut us off again because we could have kept going through the whole roster. But it was really good. So know that we were really taking your names to the Father. And just like some of you were with us, we had our prayer people, and that was a neat connection too. And then right there at the end, the last thing we did, we talked a little bit about our communications. Not a specific, how do we communicate about this topic or that topic, but just communications, the overall umbrella. God, help us with our communication, because we all are very fluent in miscommunication. And so we wanted to be aware of that and how important that is and vital. And so we spent some time there. And I think was that it, Stephanie?
Yeah.
I think so.
Man, it seems like a lot, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Very good time this year. Last thing I'll say before we end this 12 or 13-minute video. Just so you know, there's a reminder here. You can still submit questions in regards to facilities, building, all of the above, to elders@memorialdrive.org. Feel free to send that to us. We would like to get a second video, a second Q&A video about those questions that have already been submitted in regards to our building and that whole process and facility and what we're doing. And so that should be coming out hopefully before April 10th. And April 10th is, mark that on your calendars just as a reminder. That's our big get together, lunch, talking about the building, the facility, the plans, the journey, the options, share with you where we're at, share with you options, and then hear back from you as an ongoing process. And so, yeah, I think that's it.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing that poem again.
You're welcome.
Yes. So Memorial, we love you and we will see you soon.